Well, they often say, don't they, that show business is a cruel mistress. But is Meghan Markle about to find that out? And what does number 10 Downing Street have to do with that? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of Downing Street today in a brand new year. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much as ever for your company. And as we often say here on the show, this is wonderful to come into Downing Street, you know, so much full of history. When you think about what's gone on outside of that black door, that famous black door, I think there's possibly only one or two other buildings in the world that really people know. There, of course, in the United States is the White House. And then, of course, there are other famous Prime Minister residences around the world, but I don't think none have featured as much as this particular famous black door, or correct me if I'm wrong. When you think about the people standing outside, Winston Churchill, remember of course Neville Chamberlain outside announcing that there wasn't going to be a war. How wrong was he? Now there could be another war looming, let me tell you. Now this time this is all because of course the current residents of number 10 Downing Street, Mr and Mrs Johnson, and that is our current British Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Boris Johnson, have been offered a mega deal. Yes, there's a bit of a pun there, a bit of a mega deal. And it's all to do with, of course, the streaming giant Netflix, but let me explain the reasons why. As we know, Harry and Meghan decided to sign on with Netflix, as he openly admitted in that interview with Oprah Winfrey when he said he needed to get some money. Possibly not the right choice of words when you've just got a brand new employer who is paying you hopefully millions of pounds to make some kind of product. We're told we can look forward to his Invictus Games documentary towards the end of this current year. Long time in the making. You know, TV needs to be a lot quicker than that, Harry. People get bored rather quickly. But this time around, Meghan herself, who also has her own production looming called Pearl, an animated series which is going to be executive produced by David Furnish. That's the partner of Sir Elton John, good close friend, of course, of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. After all, he loaned them his private jet. That went well, didn't it? But this time around, number 10 Downing Street is now being targeted by Netflix because Mrs Johnson, the Prime Minister's wife, is also the communications director for the Aspinall Foundation. Let me explain. Some of the biggest streaming hits for Netflix have been none other than wildlife programmes, particularly those made originally by the BBC and featuring the doyen of everything wildlife, of course, David Attenborough. Now, the Aspinall Foundation is all about animals and zoos and things like that, a wonderful organisation. But more importantly, of course, what better than to have that British connection, particularly one that also wields so much power. You can actually see the way Netflix works, can't you? You know, they pick out the people that they think, yes, they're in power, they're going to get us some great PR. But I truly think, actually, on this occasion, it would make a wonderful documentary or indeed series, because people do like to get behind the scenes of zoos and anything animal related. We're fascinated by them, aren't we? I know I am. But of course, it's early days. But let me tell you, this deal that's been offered to, as I say, the current British Prime Minister's wife and her associates in that foundation will simply topple that of Harry and Meghan. Now, as I said at the start of this particular video, it's interesting, isn't it? Because show business is a cruel mistress. Now, what Netflix I can clearly think are thinking, and as often we always have to say here on the show, allegedly, is how about getting somebody who's in power, who can truly really give us some now positive international PR, rather than, of course, two ex-royals who seemingly so far haven't delivered too much to the brand. Now, if I were Harry and Meghan, I'd be looking at Boris and Carrie in a brand new light. They can't just be chasing the power, they now could be chasing, of course, the ratings too. Neil Sean, 10 Downing Street, London.